Mr. Bernie Sanders is the bold face of American left. He was one among the Democratic Party leaders who wanted to contest for the nomination for the upcoming US presidential election. And he was doing his primaries. But as the process went on, he could realize that he was not going to win the nomination because Joe Biden was far ahead of him. And therefore, he withdrew from the contest. Now, Bernie Sanders, a socialist who describes himself as a democratic socialist, was raising the slogan, the revolutionary slogan, that all Americans must be covered by medical care. Universal medical care was one of the chief slogans of Bernie Sanders. He also wanted the college education to be free for all American students. That means his slogans were quite revolutionary. He needed radical change in American society, a sort of socialist change. He wanted to build a socialist America in the place of capitalist America. And therefore, most of the people, especially outside America, thought that Bernie Sanders, the socialist, would win the nomination of the Democratic Party in the US presidential election, which is due in November 2020. But he withdrew because he couldn't amass as much votes as he thought he could. Why this happened? In America, Afro-Americans is one of the sections of society which is downtrodden. And another section of people who is downtrodden in American society is the Latinos. Both these sections really liked Sanders because his socialist views were in their favor. And yet, many of them did not vote for him in the primaries. Why? What happened? Most of them felt that Bernie Sanders was too left because some years ago he had praised the educational policy of Fidel Castro of Cuba. As all know, Fidel Castro is a communist, Cuba is a communist country, and Sanders, a socialist of America, had praised him for his educational policy long back. And besides, he had also praised the Sandinista, which is a communist movement in Nicaragua. All these things influenced a section of the Afro-Americans, especially the elderly people, and also the Latinos, who thought that Sanders is too left to be voted for the nomination of the Democratic Party US presidential election. Because these people, even though they are socialists, even though they wanted radical change in society, does not want a communist model of administration practiced in Cuba or in former Soviet Union or in present China. They don't like it. That is why Bernie Sanders could not win as many votes as he expected.